Once upon a long time, this is gentleman by the name Bob. And Bob, over the summer holidays, was interested in politics. And politics for teenagers was allowed in this wonderful, beautiful land called Radiant Bobland, where the king of that land happened to be Bob's dad, Mr. Charlie. And he made politics legal in this land. Infinity teenagers rushed to get themselves involved in politics. Anyways, Bob looked around and thought to himself that becoming president couldn't be that difficult. After all, how hard could it be? Smile at people, wave every 5 seconds, promise everyone unlimited pizza Fridays, and somehow convince the country you knew what you were doing. Within 24 hours, Bob had printed exactly 3 campaign posters. The first one was upside down. The second one had his face cropped out. The third accidentally said, "Vote for Bob." Somehow, people still showed up. His first campaign speech was a complete disaster. He walked onto the stage confidently, waved to the crowd, and immediately tripped over the microphone cable. The audience gasped. Bob stood back up, brushed himself off like nothing had happened, and shouted, "That was part of the plan!" The crowd actually cheered. Jane stood in the back with her arms folded. She wasn't cheering, she was watching. Because whenever Bob became confident, something always went terribly wrong. Bob promised the impossible. Every school would have Fridays off. Homework would be replaced with naps. Ice cream would be considered a vegetable. Every student would receive free Wi-Fi that somehow never lagged. People laughed. People clapped. People stopped believing him. Even Bob couldn't believe how well it was working. Within a week, opinion polls showed Bob leading by a huge margin. Jane became suspicious. Late one evening, while everyone celebrated Bob's campaign, Jane noticed something strange. Every campaign poster looks different after sunset. The smiling picture of Bob wasn't smiling anymore. She blinked. It smiled again, wider. Jane pulled out her phone to take a picture. The moment the camera pointed at the poster, the smile disappeared. She lowered the phone. The smile came back. Nobody else seemed to notice. She tried warning Bob. He laughed it off. "It's probably just bad lighting." Jane wasn't convinced. The next morning, another candidate mysteriously withdrew from the election. Then another. No explanations, no speeches, no goodbye messages. They simply vanished from the race overnight. Soon, there was only one candidate left. Bob. The entire country celebrated. Bob couldn't stop smiling. Jane couldn't stop worrying. Election day finally arrived. Millions of votes poured in. The announcer stepped onto the stage holding the results. He slowly opened the envelope. Silence filled the nation. Ladies and gentlemen, the winner! Before he could finish, every screen in Radiant Bobland suddenly went blank. Phones, televisions, computers, billboards, everything! For 10 more seconds, nothing. Then one sentence appeared on every screen. This election was never about winning. The lights came back on. Bob was gone. Only his campaign badge remained on the stage. Jane picked it up. On the back, scratched into the metal, were 6 chilling words. The president was chosen years ago. The crowd froze. Then, a slow clap echoed from somewhere behind them. Nobody was standing there. Just subscribe. Who knows, we might be a YouTube rewind. Just subscribe.